but yes. But yeah, I'm not really a pizza man. I'm more a farmer. This is my environment. Yeah, I work here now. This field here we have it 5 years, but I'm farming 10 years now. Not all my life. I was a normal person before. But anyway, before we start talking about olives and olive oil world, I want to start to talk about food, because first of all, olive oil is food. Yeah, and then is one specific kind of food. We will talk about it, about this specific product, but in general it's food. And yes, we talk about food first, but before that I want to tell you something else. That everything you don't understand, I want you to tell me. So my English is, I'm not mother tongue English, and you also not. We are speaking a third language, so it's good if you get what I want to say. If you don't understand, just tell me, so I try to explain in a different way. And everything I'm saying is not the truth.
So you are lying.
Exactly. No, I'm not lying.
Exactly.
I'm just telling my experience. This is not somebody that is teaching people, but I want to share, so I want you to tell me things too. You know, because this is a sharing, it's not a lesson, it's not a lecture. Talking about food, what I want to say, yeah, this, our society is salute. Our society is kind of a strange one, since, as you may notice, we are depending on the other people for our main source of energy, which is food. And nowadays, I guess that, you know, I'm talking about Italy, but I think it's not much different for you. We are producing maybe about 10% of what we eat, and this is, I think, a big problem, since, you know, being dependent from someone else is a danger. Yeah, this is dangerous for many reasons, but most of all, you know, this dependency causes a lot of troubles to the environment we live in, because the goods needs to move from here to there all the time. You know, think that you are in an olive oil country. Oh! Think that we live in an olive oil country, and many people here do use Spanish olive oil, or olive oil that comes from Tunisia, you know, because it's cheaper, just for that. And how comes that, you know, this product can be cheaper? You know, I'm talking about olive oil, but as I say, this food, everything else, tomatoes, fruit, everything that comes from very far away, is cheaper than things that are produced here. So we have to question ourselves what's happening in between, how this magic is happening. And then you find out that, you know, thankfully, I say, here our workers are safely guarded by institutions. We cannot just take people from the street and make them work like 15 hours a day with no holiday, with a very low wages, you know, kind of slavery. But many of the countries that are actually producing our food, they do that. So how comes that, you know, we make so many strict regulations here because we want to safeguard our workers, and then we accept that we're eating food that is made that way? So this is the first part where our society looks kind of schizophrenic, you know. It doesn't, you know, match the thing. You know, we want to do well here, then it's okay if somewhere else they do differently and you buy from them. This is the first problem. So after that, you know, who wants to farm here with so many strict regulations, has so much high costs, they cannot cope with the prices that we we get out of the sales. And this is the second problem, you know. This makes the farmers to be a beggar. You know, we depending on institutions that give us subsidies. You know, in the developed countries, the farmers are fed by governments. We can't make money out of the land because our costs are much higher. And this is a big problem because our pride and all the things that is involved with it just, you know, crashes. And then again, we are dependent on a system that make us slave again. We never have enough money to cope with the costs, because this is, of course, is not that you can check this, you know, every farmer. They make European laws where the farmer can get some money if they grow wheat or if they grow corn, and so people do grow corn, then they just chop the crop into the soil because it's not worth it to harvest. They just get subsidies. All these sick things that are happening, producing food for nothing, and they are all the outcome of this way of approaching our life in this planet. So this, I guess, it should be changed. Otherwise, here our days are counting down to the end. The point that we make here is something, you know, I was talking and they said, you are crazy. You know, we are crazy doing what we are doing, because here we refuse government subsidies, and we refuse to ask a mortgage to the banks. We did different things. We took loan because we started with no money and no land. This is not our land. We didn't have any money. We had to work about 2 years without any wage to start the thing. But we had also to borrow some money. But there are thankfully some realities which are built by people like me, which they think we could do different thing and different use of the thing, also the money. Yeah, money is something that, you know, I don't know who in ancient Greece was talking that, you know, is morally bad to make money out of money. You know, money is made out of work. You know, we don't make money out of money. In our society, now it's completely the opposite. Now most of the people make money with money, and very few make money with the work. And so this refusing the system, let's say, is kind of complicated, of course, because the system is made to be dependent on it. You know, it looks like you don't have a choice. There are choices. You know, they are not publicized everywhere, so it's difficult to find them, but there are. For example, this money that we got to buy the tractor and the tools was 30,000 euro that we are still paying, about 500 euros every month. It comes from a group of people that said we want to make money look different. Money is a tool, it should work for people, it's not the opposite. So we create this kind of co-op, you know, cooperative of money, that you gather money from people, 25 euros or more. And then when you have enough money to constitute an institution, a regular institution, the law says you need to have about 650,000 euro to create one such institution that can borrow money. Then you create that, but you give special rules. For example, there are no interests. Yeah, money doesn't make money, so you borrow money and you get back what you borrow, you know. Or the people they give money to these things, they don't get any interest out of it. They just help their environment and the place where they live to look differently, because also the loans that the people ask to these people, they need to have certain characteristics. You know, if I want to build cars, for example, I can't go there and ask them money because they would say no. They support only projects that in some way will uplift the environment. Not only agriculture, but shops that sell certain kind of products, or for example campings, which they have some kind of sustainability project, you know, different kind of things. Another very important thing is that to get money out of them, you don't need to have you know, for example, in a house or money in a bank to guarantee. You know, if you go to a bank and you ask money, the first thing they ask, what do you have to guarantee that you will pay back us the money, you know. If you have nothing, we don't give you nothing. You know, either your mommy or daddy needs to come and sign the paper so they can get the house out of them, or nothing. So this is a kind of warranty that involves you to have something. They don't need that. They need relation warranty. They need to know you. They need to get to know what you want to do with this money. They will help you to understand if there are some weak points to your project, and they will help you to develop a different kind of project, or tell you maybe here, you know, they want to know what you do with their money and how you will spend it, how you will give it them back the money. And this is good because they are always available for help. This is all volunteering people, but they're all lawyers, or they are people involved with accountancy. They understand what they're doing and they can help, you know, for free. So this was a good help also for us at the beginning. And another thing is that if you can't pay for 1 month, for example, the 500 euros that we are paying, the whole organization moves to you, helping you to repay that. You know, they organize, for example, a dinner, or they say maybe we can postpone or make it smaller. You know, 500 is too much, maybe we make it 300, you will repay 2 years more, for example. So it's something that, you know, you make friends, you get money out of friends. And these, you know, 600,000 euro they started with, they multiply all the time that, you know, a project is starting, and that other people are repaying their loans. So they multiply. It's not actually 600,000, but it gets 800, 1 million euros. This is maybe too economical, yes, thing, but the money multiplies. That's why banks are making a lot of money, because out of something they don't borrow the money they have. They borrow more, because then they gather the money month by month, and they are able to borrow more. You know, I mean, this is too complicated. Let's leave it. But important is that, you know, there are realities, if you look around, that they are working in a different way, and this is a hope for us, because, as I say before, if we don't change something, we will soon have many problems. Now, going back to the olives, yeah, which is, as I said, food. It's the same that the rest of the thing. You know, we are coping here with some problems regarding, especially the price of sales and the costs, which is not always able to cover that. You know, and that's because the culture of olive oil is a bit, is too small. We don't know many things about olive oil, and that's one problem we have, because olive oil is not olive oil. There are different ways of doing olive oil, like many other products, and what's important to know is what's inside what you buy. You know, how do you get to know it? I will tell you tomorrow. But now what's important to know is that the people that nowadays keep doing this are less and less, and we have to compromise every day. These machines that we're using, believe me, I will let you try after if you want, but they are killing our backs. You know, vibration all day like that, and heavy, because the The thing is about 8 kilos on your back, and you stay up like this, and vibration. This is something that, you know, I would never wish to my worst enemy to do. And if you think about it, you know, I started 10 years ago, so about 6-7 years ago, it wasn't like this. You had your little rakes, you had ladders, you know, and everything was quiet, you could talk. Now it's completely different, but we have no choices in this case. We have choices for other things, but I'm always very say worry about new things, new technology, but I don't say no, you know. I just analyze it, and if the costs are less than the benefits, then it's okay, you know. Otherwise, for example, I don't have a smartphone because for me the costs are higher than the benefits, but it's my personal way of seeing things. And so the same we do here with this machinery. We say we balance, you know, the things, and there are a lot of things to take in consideration. First of all, there is no manpower. Young people don't want to work here, and so we have no choice for this. Now the alternative here is to hire immigrants here legally, but they are the only one that they can work for I guess is a little wage, and they are willing to do this, you know. So they are legal, no illegally. Here, thankfully, there are little problems with that. If you go in the south of Italy, it's a big problem down there, because mafia is much more present. Here in Tuscany, there is, of course, like everywhere in Italy, everywhere in the world, the mafia, but it's not so widespread. Normally here there are controls. We are worried to get people without a regular contract because they can come and check. So we can hire those people, but those people are untrained. You know, they don't know how an olive tree looks like because they come from a different place. And so it's okay to give them a work. Yeah, for me it's okay because this is another phase of the problem, which for me relates again to the food production and the way we live this world. You know, they move from their countries because we've been sucking blood for too long, and so this is a problem that will increase if we don't stop living the way we do. Yeah, it's clear so far because it's a bit kind of a puzzle, you know, a lot of pieces I'm trying to put together, but please tell me if something is not clear. The other option is this machinery, because we have thousands of trees in this region here. You've been traveling, you know, and you've seen how many of them are around. And if I say that, you know, about 30% are professional farms, and about 70%, 60% are hobby farmers. People which, you know, for tradition, they keep 100, 200 olive trees, they make olive oil for themselves and for friends. So also here we have an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is that these hobby farmers, they keep clean, you know, they keep the olive trees alive, otherwise the thorns will grab them, and you've seen some of these also if you look around. Some places which are now abandoned and nobody takes care of the trees anymore. But the disadvantage is that these people don't live out of this job. They do it on the weekends. They don't need to get out of an income out of the olive oil, so they sell this product normally underpriced. So if the price, for example, for us, that we need to pay taxes and everything, is about 15, 16 euros, 17 euros, they sell it for 10, 12, and this is dumping the market, local market, which, you know, it's okay because it's not okay, but we don't have another option. You know, that's why it's difficult also to increase the amount of people that want to do this job, because there is no a straight profit. To have a profit out of this tree, the choices are very few. Quantity would be one choice, you know, to have more trees and to have them in a row like this one in more places, but as you've seen here, we have a lot of curves and a lot of hills, not many flat places. This is one of the few that we have, but most of them are terraces and very hard to work there, a lot of costs, higher costs. And so quantity here in this region for me is not worth it to think about that, even if there are people that do that. You know, with the quantity, together with the quantity goes the reduction of the costs. You know, try to decrease the costs. So machinery or you know, we prune these trees every year or every second year. People may choose to prune it every 3, 4 years, 5 years. You know, so the trees are not kept well. Or, for example, another reduction of costs is the harvest. We want the harvest to cost less. You need to pay people less, and so on. This is, for me, the wrong choice, because in a place like this, reducing costs is nearly impossible. You know, we are at the end of the reduction of what we could reduce. And also here, with this environment, talking about quantity, as I say, it is senseless, is meaningless. The only, for me, option that we have is to improve the quality and to search for this micro market, but I see them growing, this micro market at the beginning. Now people growing, these kind of people that are looking for quality products, which some people say, yeah, it's the rich people, you know, it's the people with money. I don't think it's true, you know. In my experience, we don't need to have a lot of money to buy good food. Because myself, of course, part of, most of what I eat, I produce myself. This is a good advantage. But I guess it's a question of priority. It's a question of, you know, do you think it's more important to have a nice car or to have a nice mobile phone, nice clothes, or do you think it's more important to have good food? This is a choice that you can make. And our society, again, I was reading numbers about 50, 60 years ago, 70% or more of the income was spent in food. Yes, 70, it's a lot. Most of it was going out on food. And nowadays we are about 13% of our income goes on food, because the food is cheaper, people have more income, and of course the priority have changed. Now we have much more things that we crave. Before there was not a lot of stuff around. You buy food or what else? It was not much more. Now many things, you know, technology, clothes, and holidays, many other things to spend money in. And so this is just to figure out how different it is, the difference between only 50 years ago, you know. And this, you know, makes you think that, are we sure what we're doing, you know? We have a body, you know, which is one. We are saving on fuel, because food is our fuel. And then we have maybe health problems. We need to spend money on caring our illnesses. This is something that, you know...
But more than it would be if you would...
Yes. The thing is that when we go and buy cheap stuff in the market, you know, we never think about the hidden costs of this cheap stuff. You know, we buy 1 kilo of tomatoes for 30 cents or 50 cents, and we don't think that we are paying 50 cents on a check, and then we have to pay 30 cents to the doctor, another 20 cents for the pollution on the environment, another maybe 30 cents for the social problems they cause all over the world. See immigrations now, for example, but wars, you know, and so on. So from what I'm talking about, looks like everything is related to the food. But it may be not true, but the food is one of the very few things that we all need. We can't do without. Many other things you can, you know, for many centuries we were dressing just bare skins. So we don't really need anything else rather than and living in caves. I don't think we will go back there, but and I'm also one person that doesn't think that before was better, because I talk with many farmers that were living before in the farmer houses, and the life was hard then. You know, no heatings, no incomes, nothing was certain. You know, nowadays you see, we had a storm the other day that, you know, spoiled our harvest here, and for us it's just a question of less income, which we can balance it, because as you may see here, we don't do only olive oil, we do vegetables, we do wheat, we do beans. So if you do more things, you know, you always balance. The season is never the same. One year is better for chestnut, the other year is better for olive oil. So it's, but in general it's different. Yeah, tell me if you have some question, because otherwise I go on forever and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You have
But
some?
it's very interesting just to hear your perspectives and your point of view. But I'd like to explain.
It's an insight of the food world.
Yeah.
And I think it's important because people relate, especially our modern society, relate food only to a pleasure, something that should satisfy our taste, which is also part of it, a very important part of it. Because most of the time, not all the time, most of the time when the food is good taste is also good stuff on it. There is a bad side that, you know, fats and sugars craves, you know, but that's a different, it's not nice flavor, it's a craving. I separate this, you know, nice, good taste and cravings are different. You know, fats and sugars push you and to consume more of that. Your body shakes, you know, if you don't give it to it. While the good taste is something that gives you pleasure, and that's it. If tomorrow you don't eat any more of that, it's okay. You know, your body is not calling you, give me some sugars. You know, it's different. But our body is able to understand if stuff is good or not. We just need to know and start to know what's good. And then, you know, because now we think this is about the taste is something that we think most of the things are good, but most of the things are bad, and our taste gets use of it. So that's another problem that we should try to overcome, you know. Start to eat, you know, sourdough bread, which has a bit of acidity on it, to tell our body that that's the good taste, you know, not the other yeast that we used and I show you. Otherwise we have to pay doctors, you know, you can choose, you know, some.
You know what's interesting? Since we arrived, all those locals, including you, are very passionate about the food.
Yeah.
In different aspects, but still, yesterday in the winery we also heard about the food and how this
Yes.
culture of the
You went to this goat farm. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't know this guy, right?
Michele. Did you talk with Michele?
Oh, Michele, we saw him.
Yeah.
He just said ciao.
Okay.
But there's this other guy,
Michele is
Marco.
my contact. Yeah, Marco, I know him
okay.
also. I know them, but you know, Michele is the one I know it better.
Oh, okay. So we did not remember how did you find this place. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
He was
sent
very
you there.
nice.
I think it's good. They are a good team.
they were very kind.
Yeah.
Well,
We
very
got some
good.
firewood even from them.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
like-
Oven.
Yes, the passion about food, I guess, is part of our culture. You know, we grow up, and now it's changing also. You know, but I grew up when when the table was kind of a ritual. You know, big table with the great grandfather, great grandmother, grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, and there's more the little ones. And the food started from the old ones. Yeah, you serve first the old ones, and then you go to the young. Today is completely different. You know, we eat whenever we have time. It's as faster as better. You know, you leave aside the Christmas and all this special occasion. But I remember, you know, when I was small and I grown up in a workshop. My grandfathers were no farmers. The one that they were alive. The other one, the dead one, was a farmer. But these one, they were carpenters. They worked in a workshop. 1 o'clock, my grandmother was calling for lunch. Everybody was going up, and we were eating together until 4 o'clock. Nothing happened. You know, my grandfather used to go for a nap. You know, we were playing with my brother somewhere, and then again in a workshop, and then dinner. Basically, this, you know, also preparation of the food was so long. You know, they invest a lot of money, even if the ingredients were simple. But you know, we got passionate about food because you know the table for us is part of our culture. Most of the important thing you discuss with people, they are around food. You know, when we also now this doesn't disappear, but when we had to discuss important questions, issues with friends, we say we go out for dinner, or we see each other at dinner. So we have a table with food, and then we talk about these things, because that's the center of the family, I think. The table and the kitchen. Yes, and the women, which also is another issue. Like the men, they don't want to work anymore. The women don't want to stay home anymore. This is a great problem. More the women is because the women were the center of the family. They were the pillar of the family. And now with this gone, you know, kids are growing like this. With mobile phones and going out in a weekend, getting drunk and destroy cars, you know, they don't know what to do. So you know this stuff. The same that I was doing, yeah? I was doing this stuff. But
I think many of us have done the same.
that's because our parents were the first generation who gave up family and this traditional way of seeing society for a dream, for the American dream. To have a villa, to go on holiday, to have money, which I think in their position I may have did the same, you know, because they were coming from a very poor environment. My daddy told me that, you know, he used to wake up in the winter seeing the stars through the tiles of the roof, you know, and they hate washing because the water was so cold. Going out of the bath tube, which was something built out of some metal, I think, was so cold that they couldn't, you know, they didn't like the bath at all. So nowadays it's different. We have everything we need, but on the other hand, we don't have people ready to invest and to sweat, to conquer things. Our backbones are very Yeah, not strong. That's the problem also. You see how many people they do divorce, you know? They separate each other because at the first problem, we don't want to, you know, I don't
like
care.
mentally without makeup, not physically.
Yes, yes.
Nice like
Yes, because it's a way of Italian saying, you know, you have, say, non hai spina dorsale, you don't have backbone, you know. You have this saying to say you are nothing, you know, you're... It's a strong saying, but that's the way it is. Okay, we're going, I don't know, until we wait the guys for lunch. I think, what's the time? Yeah, 10 minutes.
said that the fire is up.
Fire is ready, then we will go soon. But maybe I can tell you a bit about these trees.
Olives.
Yeah?
Olives and olive oil.
Exactly. Okay, these olive trees here.
And also that different...